Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining me right here in Solomon's Temple. My name is Solomon Izangi Shams, and it's so good to be with you. Have you ever seen a lifted prophet? We know about the prophet Elijah and Elisha, the relationship that they had, and the senior prophet was now taken by chariots, lifted up and just disappeared into heaven. But there is this prophet in Ghana who stepped out of his car. Whilst he stepped out of his car, arriving when I have a problem when a pastor or prophet arrives church when everybody is there and they're singing and everybody, then he comes like a king. This guy came into his car, dropped off his car outside the church. There was a chair. So his chair from inside, his seat from inside the church, they took the special seat out and kept it right outside, where as soon as he dropped out of his car, he now sat on the seat, and two young men lifted him up and took him in all the way into the church, into a special place, a special location in the church. It's happened in the nation of Ghana. What have we become? Both sides. What have all these false prophets, what would that give them? Because one thing with false prophets, after a few years, you forget about them. Because they will disappear. They're only there for 7 years, 10 years, and then they disappear. Their influence totally wind down. What is going through the minds of the people that lifted him up? Who is he? What's special about him? The way God loves the prophet is the way he loves you and I. But what has taken hold of us? What has so influenced us to think that it is appropriate to celebrate and to honor a prophet while dishonoring God? You see, you can honor your prophet at the same time dishonor God. The place of a prophet in your life would show if you're honoring God or you're honoring your prophet. And all these charlatans and false prophets, they become experts in that. They know how to navigate around the minds of people. Because we are Africans and we revere our traditional leaders, our kings, our chiefs. So they are now showcasing themselves as not just spiritual authority, but also like cultural authority. That's why they bring all of these things into the church, because they don't know God. It's sad. Let's watch these videos, guys. This video is really sad. As him arriving, he just arrived.
This man of God.
There's a seat, special seat for him. Look at the seat, guys. And you have these three young men. I actually said three young men. Lift him. Look at all the entourage and the ushers now. They're all lining up. Shame on him. Shame on him. So his feet is so holy that he's not supposed to touch the ground. See how he's sitting. Unashamedly. Even smiling. Just look at where they're going to put him. Right? They took him up into the altar. And they put him right there. Look at it. What is this rubbish? This is the only time he's now having taking them. Maybe he's a guest minister. Maybe he's a guest preacher in the house. So they're giving him the VIP treatment. People. What have become of us? What have become of us that these liars, these charlatans, a person who is a man of God would not sit in that seat. And this church in itself, it seems like they are very much into idolatry, because that is a strong case of idolatry. Bereans, we need to wake up and try to help other people who are caught up in this web of lies. These charlatans, they just keep embarrassing themselves. Like, how do you even, what? Guys, let's watch this one last time, isn't it? Let's watch this one last time.
Yes, man of God.
Clearly looks like he's visiting there. For you to even sit there, see all the ushers, see everybody now is lining up behind. Any charlatan prophet that would sit in a seat like this and allow people to run away. This is madness. This is in Ghana. So this happened in the nation of Ghana. And this is sad. Thaddeus says, this is real madness. It is not of God at all. I agree with you. Jesus Christ, charlatans wouldn't stop embarrassing themselves. Very embarrassed. They're totally embarrassing themselves. Wow. We forgot that these people are all liars. They are there for human glory and adulation, let alone profiting. Sounds like idolatry to me, Uncle Solomon. Avatu says they idolize him as their God. Pathetic. People, believe it or not, there are people, Bereans, who are not like you and I. They don't think like you and I. They don't reason like you and I. But we claim to belong to the same faith, the Christian faith. From the charlatans and the false prophets that are enacting all this glorification for themselves, just so they can be seen as important in society, and people would like, wow, this man. It's a shame. We must continue to expose this charlatans and false prophets publicly. They don't have a stake in the Church of Jesus. What they run are cults. And unfortunately, there are people who are blind enough, like the 3 young men that lifted this man up from outside his car to the altar in a seat. What manner? You see, we have to stop emulating what we see outside the church. We are emulating how kings and chiefs and traditional rulers in Africa are being treated. We must not emulate them. We must show humility. We must show servant leadership. Where when you come to a church, you would not even know who is the pastor and who is the member. They have to tell you that's the pastor there. Because he is so humble, and there's nothing flamboyant about how he looks, the crowd that goes with him. No, just the normal guy, just the usual guy. That's where we have to be if we want to see change in this continent. God bless you guys. I'll see you again soon.